Testing today is not just about finding bugs actually. Testing is about the pace at which we are going. You see that the development life cycle has become faster. We have more complex system coming into place, and any small changes we make has a ripple effect on the entire business process. So that is where testing has to live up to. So that is where we are seeing that whether we can bring in AI and fasten the pace of things and ensure that we match up. Because the old way of doing it, that cannot be continued any further because it doesn't handle the pace at which the changes are happening. At Tristha, we have picked up something which is very straightforward to start with. What we are doing is we are taking up the requirements and trying to generate manual test cases out of that. We're not stopping there. We're changing these manual test cases to automated test cases as well. How we are doing it is pretty much simple. We have created some connectors and agents, AI agents, which connects to your requirements. The requirements could be anywhere. It could be in your Jira boards, it could be in your Azure boards, it could be a document lying in the SharePoint or in a folder. So we have MCP and agents which connect, which pick up these requirements and convert them into manual test cases. Now, we have our own in-house automation tool called Terra, which is our own tool. And Terra, you'll find these generated test cases displayed on the Terra screen where the tester can review them. The tester reviews that and accepts the thing. They can make changes also to that and they approve it. Once they approve it, and it goes in for the automation part of things. So once the approved manual test case comes in, the AI system converts that into automated test scripts. And these automated test scripts are again available for your review and orchestration and other things. So this is one part of it. We are not stopping there again. We are bringing in risk-based testing as well. So what we have done is we have separate agents built in that takes care of this risk-based testing. In risk-based testing, what we really do is that we give the AI model the test cases and the change logs. Any change that has come in as a part of the new release and the change log is also given. So the AI model then analyzes this and finds out which are the right test cases and which are the critical test cases that has to be run for ensuring that everything is covered, the coverage is there based on the requirements. So whatever change log, whatever changes has come based on that, which are the critical test cases that has to be executed. So only those test cases are picked and executed. Now we are trying to implement this for one of our customers, and from the initial runs we have run, what we have found out is that somewhere between the execution time from 8 hours is reduced to 3 years, close to 3 years. So that's a big deal here. So that is what we are looking for, a test suite of 60,000 test cases. You can actually run it in 3 years because you're actually running it based on a risk-based testing. The AI is analyzing, it's finding the critical test cases, then it passes it on to the Terra tool and Terra tool executes them. So this is what the holistic picture we are looking at. This is where the AI comes in. And this actually is helping us out in many ways. We are not only able to now run it in short duration, we are able to run it multiple times. So previously, let's say we are able to run this test 2 times or 3 times. Now we are able to run it more frequently. So that helps us a lot. And another step we are doing is that AI is now able to connect to the requirements, pick that requirements, convert that into manual test cases. That is also done often. You can schedule it. So the developers, as and when they make changes and the change request comes in, the AI detects. We have agents which detects the changes, and then we also have scheduled runs which detects these changes. And then based on the changes, those requirements are picked up and they're converted into manual test cases. These manual test cases are once again available for review for the testers who review it, and then this cycle keeps happening. So this is the vision we have at Tristha. So data, especially when it comes to testing and test automation, data forms the backbone of everything. Now I talked about how requirements are converted to manual test cases and manual test cases to automation. There are 2 questions that were asked to me previously when we were discussing this. Why do you need manual test cases? Can't you directly convert that into automation now that AI is there? It's a valid question. But the thing is, when you convert it to manual test cases, you can review it. You can review it easily than you review automation test cases. And the second part, like you were rightly pointed out, the data. For me to understand what data is required for a test case, the manual test case is required. So what we are doing now is we're going through the manual test cases, we're giving them option either manually they can go and enter test cases, or there's another agent which can generate synthetic test case. Now, this is a complex process when it comes to test data analytic test case creation. So you have agents which generates manual synthetic test data, plus you have other agents in case you have migrated data. It goes through your migrated data, or if you allow it to connect to the required databases through MCP, it can connect to the databases. It can find the, I'll give an example, a banking example, wherein you need a certain type of account to perform a certain type of fund transfer. So you would define these guidelines and other things as a part of skill for our agent, and it actually goes in, picks up that account and populates our tool's data guidelines. And from there, the tool picks up this data and executes. So this is how we address the data portion of things. A lot of conditions go into data. You need a very clear guideline on how the data can be used, and a privacy issue that come in if you're using production grade data and stuff like that. So all this has been, we are trying to address all this as a part of data. We have specific task-oriented agents which does these tasks. And the model that these agents use are configurable in nature. Either you can configure to subscribe the cloud-based models, or you can connect them to our own open source models which we have fine-tuned and kept. So both these options are available, and this is how we try to do the end-to-end test case generation. We generate the test case from requirement, there's a review process involved, then there's a data generation and data review process involved, then you generate the automated test cases. And execution orchestration is also done using risk-based testing. Again, out here in this whole thing, if you see, I've been talking about people manually reviewing it and stuff. From Tristha's perspective, how we see it is, that is the work of the QA engineer. Till date, we find that a lot of QA engineer, especially in agile processing, spend too much time writing code to automate stuff. Now, QA engineer's primary job is not that. Primary task is to ensure quality of the output that comes in. So now they are freed up of that task. They are freed up of spending hours together trying to automate something and stuff, or spending hours together to get the right data. Because you may have a perfect test case, you may have really good automation scripts, and still it may fail if you have the wrong data. So getting this data, creating this data, getting automated scripts, they are all done away with from the QA engineer's perspective. There's a role change. That's how we see it. QA engineer is not going to be out of the picture, but there's a role change for the QA engineer. Now they focus more on the primary task of quality rather on actually the secondary task of generating automation scripts to ensure quality. So that's how we look at it.